Big tech is about to make its biggest AI bet ever, and it's not happening through a single product launch, flashy demo, or headline-grabbing acquisition. It's happening quietly through capital commitments, infrastructure decisions, and long-term strategic shifts that signal something much bigger. Artificial intelligence is no longer an experiment for big tech. It is becoming the core operating system of the industry. For years, AI was treated as a competitive feature. Companies talked about smarter recommendations, better search, improved ads, and automation tools layered on top of existing products. Those investments were meaningful, but they were incremental. What is happening now is different. Big tech is moving from AI as an advantage to AI as the foundation. And that shift requires a level of commitment the industry has never made before. The clearest signal is spending. The largest technology companies are committing unprecedented amounts of capital to AI-related infrastructure. Data centers, custom chips, power contracts, networking equipment, and long-term compute capacity are being locked in years ahead of demand certainty. This is not cautious experimentation. This is a belief that AI usage will be so central, so constant, and so mission-critical that owning the infrastructure is no longer optional. These investments are not being justified by short-term returns. Executives are openly acknowledging that AI margins may be compressed in the near term. Training models is expensive. Running them at scale is expensive. Supporting enterprise adoption takes time, yet the spending continues. That tells you something important. Big tech believes the cost of not building AI capacity now is far higher than the cost of overbuilding it. Another reason this is the biggest AI bet ever is scope. AI is no longer confined to one department or one product line. It is being embedded across entire organizations. Search, productivity software, cloud services, developer tools, advertising systems, customer support, hardware, and internal operations are all being redesigned with AI at the center. This is a company-wide transformation, not a side project. The competitive pressure driving this cannot be overstated. Once one major platform integrates AI deeply, others are forced to follow or risk irrelevance. AI changes user expectations quickly. Once people get used to software that understands context, generates content, automates decisions, and adapts in real time, going back feels impossible. Big tech understands that falling behind, even temporarily, could permanently weaken its platforms. This is also why custom silicon has become such a priority. Relying solely on third-party hardware limits scale and margins. By designing their own AI chips, big tech firms are betting that AI workloads will be so large and so persistent that vertical integration makes economic sense. This mirrors past shifts where companies brought critical infrastructure in-house once it became strategic enough. Another layer of this bet is talent. AI talent is being treated as strategic capital. Compensation packages, research freedom, compute access, and influence within organizations are being used to attract and retain top researchers and engineers. This level of competition only happens when companies believe the outcome will define their future position in the market. There is also a shift in how big tech talks about risk. In previous cycles, companies were cautious about deploying powerful new technologies too broadly. Today, the risk narrative has flipped. The greater risk is being perceived as slow, cautious, or behind. That does not mean concerns about safety or regulation have disappeared, but they are now being balanced against competitive urgency. Big tech believes that influence over AI's direction comes from participation, not abstention. Enterprise adoption plays a major role in this bet. Big tech is positioning AI not just as consumer-facing tools, but as the backbone of enterprise productivity. Businesses are being encouraged to rebuild workflows around AI-assisted decision-making, content generation, analysis, and automation. Once enterprises commit to these systems, switching costs become high. That creates long-term platform lock-in, which big tech values deeply. Another reason this is the biggest AI bet ever is that it reshapes revenue models. AI changes how software is priced, delivered, and consumed. Usage-based pricing, compute-driven costs, and subscription bundles tied to AI capabilities are altering traditional SaaS economics. Big tech is betting it can manage this transition without destabilizing its core businesses, a risky but necessary move. At the same time, AI is being used internally to improve efficiency. Hiring, forecasting, infrastructure management, customer support, and even code generation are being automated or augmented. This allows companies to scale output without scaling headcount at the same rate. That operational leverage is a powerful incentive to go all in. There is also a geopolitical dimension. AI leadership is increasingly tied to national competitiveness. Governments care deeply about where AI models are built, where data is processed, and who controls foundational technologies. Big tech companies operating at global scale are positioning themselves as indispensable partners in this landscape. That adds another layer of strategic importance to their investments. Critics argue that this level of spending could backfire. AI adoption may be slower than expected. Regulation could tighten. Margins could disappoint. Smaller, more agile competitors could innovate faster. All of these risks are real, but big tech appears to have made a calculation. Even if AI returns take longer to materialize, the companies that build the infrastructure and platforms now will control the future options. This is not a bet on a single model or interface. It is a bet on a world where intelligence is embedded into everything digital. In that world, companies without AI at their core become utilities or get displaced entirely. Big tech is trying to ensure it is neither. So when we say big tech is about to make its biggest AI bet ever, what we really mean is this. The industry is committing to AI as the defining force of the next decade, regardless of short-term uncertainty. Capital, talent, infrastructure, and strategy are all being aligned around that belief. If this bet pays off, today's spending will be remembered as obvious in hindsight. If it doesn't, it will still have reshaped the industry. Either way, big tech is no longer asking whether AI matters. It has already decided that everything else depends on it.